There is pleading for help.
How did he die? Was he ill and passed away? Was he killed? If so, how? This is a case that has really grabbed attention across the country. People are very invested. You see 5-year-old Samuel's face. His birthday, his 6th birthday, was this last weekend. And unfortunately now we've confirmed that he didn't make it to his 6th birthday. But this has just been a devastating, heartbreaking case. And the details that we keep getting from police that they're uncovering are they're just troubling, to say the least. We were in downtown a couple of days ago, right after Houston police had a news conference. That was on Wednesday morning. And I heard some women walking past me in downtown, and they were talking about the case. I could tell by what they were saying. And I feel like it's just such a gruesome case.
We want to turn, however, now to the heartbreaking case of that missing 5-year-old whose body was found at a motel in Jasper earlier this week.
Yes, now we were expecting to hear from the father of little Samuel Olson this afternoon, but he ended up canceling the news conference because his family says he was too distraught. Samuel was reported missing last week, but police say that he may have died as early as May 10th. Teresa Balboa, the girlfriend of the boy's father, has been charged with tampering with a corpse. According to court documents, she kept the boy's body in a bathtub for 3 days, then put him in a plastic container and kept him in a storage unit in Webster for about 2.5 weeks. She then drove that container to Jasper, where authorities arrested her. Neighbors of the boy's father said that they had not seen Samuel in a while, but never suspected anything was wrong.
We never thought twice about it, you know. It was just always a dad and his son, and there was no suspicious activity, or they didn't look suspicious. You know, the boy always seemed happy with the dad. So we never thought twice about it.
Balboa returned from Jasper to Houston today for a court hearing. She did not appear in person because she was in a mental health unit. The judge set her bond at $500,000. ABC 13's Micah Hatfield has been covering this story for the past few days. Micah, it's still unclear how Sam died. So many people wanting answers. Are we getting any new information on the autopsy?
Alona, well, we know that Samuel's body was brought back to Harris County yesterday afternoon from Jasper County, and an autopsy will be done on his body. We don't know exactly when that will be performed, when we'll have those answers, but we really don't know how Samuel died at this point, and no one has been charged for his death. We do know from charging documents that the man who was staying with Teresa Balboa, which is Samuel's father's girlfriend, he said he noticed bruises on the child's body when he came home from work that day on May 10th when the child was dead, but we don't know how he got those bruises or if they were a result of however it is that he died. But it's just a devastating case.
And Micah, any word at this point as to whether investigators think somebody else might be charged in this investigation, because Ms. Balboa is now just charged with tampering and moving the corpse around afterward, not actually with murder?
Exactly. So no one has been charged with the murder of this child. We don't exactly know at this point if he was murdered or if he was ill and passed away that way. But the latest we got from Houston police was on Wednesday. That was their latest update on the investigation, and they told us that they do have other persons of interest, but they didn't say how many or who exactly they were questioning. The question was asked, is Samuel's father, Dalton Olson, considered a person of interest in this case, since it was his girlfriend who is now charged, and they told us no, that he is not a person of interest. Now, granted, as this investigation plays out, things may change, but as it stands right now, only Teresa is charged with tampering with evidence, and they have some other persons of interest, but it may take until the autopsy results come back to get that additional charge on someone.
What happened to Samuel Olson. He was young, sweet, happy, innocent.
It's his birthday Saturday. It should have been the happiest day of his life.
Samuel Olson had not been to school in almost a month. Friday, April 30th, that's the last time he was in attendance at Holbrook Elementary School. That weekend of May 1st and the 2nd, his grandmother says he was with her. She snapped this photo of him on May 1st at a birthday party.
May 2nd is the last time I physically had my hands on Sam.
The gap between May 2nd and now is the unknown.
Your news is getting a big, big bang.
May 27th, Samuel is reported missing. Teresa Balboa, his father's girlfriend, tells authorities his mother showed up with an officer to take Samuel.
She just pointed and said, "That's my son." She took him. "Give me my son back."
Monday, May 31st. The search intensifies. Texas EquiSearch begins searching fields for Samuel Olson. His father is seen breaking down. So is Balboa.
We just want him back.
That same evening, police search a home that belongs to a friend of Balboa. It's where they believe Samuel last was, but it's not clear when. Tuesday, June 1st, a child's body believed to be Samuel Olson is found in a room at the Best Western in Jasper. Police say the body was in a tote.
This is an absolute tragic event.
June 2nd, Teresa Balboa charged in connection to the case.
You've seen Balboa on the news talking about the child and how she didn't know where he was, only to find out that she was found with the child's body in a motel room. And I just think that the details of this case have really been disturbing for people, especially parents who think about their own children and a child being treated this way. We've spoken to people who live in the apartment complex where Teresa Balboa and her male roommate were, where they allegedly kept Samuel in a bathtub for a couple of days, and they're stunned to know that this happened right in their complex. Stunned, shocked. Many of them told me that they had never seen Samuel there at the apartments before, and according to court documents, Dalton Olson, who is Samuel's father, told police that Teresa Balboa, his girlfriend, had the child since April 30th, and he didn't pass away until the 10th. But again, many of the neighbors say they'd never seen him out there, but they are all very, very shocked. In the neighborhood where Dalton Olson lives, neighbors reported seeing Samuel playing in the front yard. They say they watched Dalton and Samuel walk to school in the mornings, and they're, again, stunned. I think that's just how everyone feels, stunned about what happened, especially when it happens right in your neighborhood.
Unanswered questions when it comes to the death of 5-year-old Samuel Olson, but one person who may have answers is back in Houston tonight. ABC13 was there this morning as Teresa Balboa was transferred from Jasper to the Harris County Jail, and she is still there tonight after a judge set her bond at $500,000. Balboa didn't appear in court today. She was in the mental health unit, but the charge against her was read. The judge said if Balboa makes bail, she will be under house arrest 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, deeming her a flight risk. And what about little Samuel? Well, now we await the autopsy, and as ABC 13's Micah Hatfield learned today, it is likely going to take some time, huh, Micah?
Absolutely. Good evening, Gina. Like you said, Teresa Balboa is back here in the Harris County Jail, but she's only charged with tampering with evidence. No one has been charged here in Harris here for little Samuel's death. How did he die? Was he ill and passed away? Was he killed? If so, how? There's a chance that we may never know.
What happened in Samuel Olson's final moments? The question so many are asking. An autopsy will be performed on the 5-year-old, but will doctors be able to determine what happened inside of that Southeast Houston apartment, considering court documents say he died on May 10th? Dr. Paul Radalat, who has performed about 2,000 autopsies, says it can be difficult, but not impossible.
If he's got broken bones, like a skull fracture and that sort of thing, that would still be there. That would not be difficult to determine. If he was smothered, it would be virtually impossible. If he drowned, I think it would be extremely difficult.
We walked him through some of the details in the charging document, like the fact that the body had been wrapped in plastic for weeks and kept in a storage unit.
It would tend to contain heat, which in a body that's decomposing, heat is the enemy.
What about the bruises that Teresa Balboa's male roommate reported seeing on the child? Will they still be there?
The bruises would probably be there, and they'd be discernible. It would be difficult to say how long they've been there.
Will the pathologist take into account details given to police during interviews?
The pathologist tries to get as much ancillary information as possible because typically it's helpful.
But only time will tell. We don't have a time frame right now on when that autopsy will be completed. But again, no one has been charged for Samuel's death. We just don't know how he died at this point. On Wednesday, when we heard from Houston police during a news conference, they said that there are other persons of interest in the case. They did not say how many, but they do have other persons of interest. They made it clear that Samuel Olson, Dalton Olson, Samuel's father, is not a person of interest, but he is someone that they're speaking to, hoping to get more information about what happened. But there are so many players in this case, and we've been very diligently trying to track them down to get their perspective of what happened. But so many people are hesitant to speak, whether they they aren't directly involved at this point, they don't want to get directly involved, or they just want to wait and let the investigation play out before they say anything. But there are just so many people involved and so many people devastated over the loss of this child.
Connor, we almost there. I say, go prize! And Connor.